Hi y'all, this is So Blessed. Welcome to the Blessed Place. How y'all doing? Just got off my full-time job, headed to my part-time job, where I am 911 operator, police dispatcher. And I thought while I'm on my way there that I would just give you all a few pointers on dialing 911 and most effective use of 911. And we know the summer is among us, and we're going to be out and about. We're going to be traveling. We're going to be doing more activity, perhaps more physical activity. So you want to know how to most effectively use 911. So I'm just off the top of my head, just going to share a few things with you. First and foremost, if you have an emergency or you think you have an emergency, dial 911. Don't call your husband, your wife, your mom and them, your cousin. You'd be absolutely astonished at the number of phone calls we get from someone who says, yeah, I'm at work and my wife called me and said that she thinks she hears somebody inside of our house. I'm just like, so your wife thinks that she hears someone inside the house and she called you? I mean, I know our husbands can be our heroes and can be our protectors, but he can't do nothing for you from wherever he is if he's not home. Sometimes, kids are at home during the summer. Your kids are out of school, so you might want to relay this to your children. Please relay this to your children and grandchildren. They're home out of school and they think they have an emergency. They may see something that looks like an emergency. Something is going on. They think somebody's breaking into their house. They think some strange person is at their door. Because a lot of times when people are trying to break in, they will test first and see if there's anybody there. They'll ring doorbells, they'll knock on doors, knock on windows, and if they get no response, then they feel like that's a good place to break in. So tell your children and your grandchildren, if they think they hear something or see something that is suspicious or somewhat scary or out of the ordinary, it's okay to dial 911. I know a lot of times 911 is definitely for emergencies, but a lot of times we're not quite sure if this is an emergency. Should I dial 911? And a lot of times people are apprehensive about dialing 911. And what is so ironic is usually the people who are apprehensive about dialing 911 are the ones who really need it. And the people who just dial 911 all willy-nilly for no good reason, they don't really need 911. But let your children know. If you think you have an emergency, someone got hurt, you see some blood, there's some limbs, distorted limbs, body parts, you're hurt, you hear or see something strange, dial 911. Okay, that's number one, is to use 911. Number two is listen. Listen to what the operator, 911 operator, is asking when they first answer the phone, because I know you're excited and you're anxious and you're possibly scared, and so you're not listening. You're just wanting to just spit out what the problem is, but that doesn't help anybody. Definitely doesn't help you. But it doesn't help the call taker to understand what you're saying. So listen to the call taker, because more than likely the first thing the call taker, the operator, 911 operator, is going to say is, do you need police, fire, or medical? And if they don't say that, they usually say, well, they might answer the phone, say, what is your emergency? So listen, are they asking you what is your emergency? Or are they asking you, do you need police, fire, and medical? Are they asking you to tell them what the immediate problem is? So first listen at what it is that they're asking you. Don't just blurt everything out at one time, unless you're having such an emergency that there is no time for talking and that's all you can say. So if that's all you can say, address, location. If you feel like you can't talk, if you're hurt and you feel like you can't talk, and that's the best you could do, that's the most you could get out, is an address. I'm telling you, even if we don't even know what the problem is, address, location is first and foremost. So I'm so passionate about this, y'all, because I've been doing this for 30 years. And I know all the mistakes people make, and I know all the saves that have happened. So listen to what they're asking you. And then whatever it is that they're asking you, when you answer in distinct, concise information. If I ask you your address, just give me the address. If I ask you what is going on, try to narrow it down to, there's a suspicious person. Somebody fell off the trampoline and they might have a broken arm. I cut myself. Somebody is possibly trying to break into my house. You'd be amazed at the elaborate information that people will give you before they get to the point. We've had people say, now one police paramedical, yes, I need the police to come to 2310 St. John Street, Sanford, Florida 32771. Okay, man, what's the problem? Well, me and my boyfriend, we were arguing. And we were arguing over the TV, and then he got mad at me, and then he came at me, and then I grabbed the kitchen knife and I stabbed him, and he's bleeding on the floor. Oh my goodness, it's like 2 minutes have gone by, but by the time you gave me your zip code and everything, what? Not one piece of what happened. I just stabbed my boyfriend. He needs help. So be concise in what it is that you're wanting and what it is that you're needing. That was number 2. Number 1, use 911. Number 2, maybe that was number 3. Number 1, use 911. Number 2, listen at what it is that they're asking. Number 3, make your answers clear and concise. Number 4, try not to be irritated by the questions, because I know 911 operators, we're trained to ask specific information, and a lot of times we start with the most priority first, which is location. Location is always priority. Location and what it is that's going on. Then we'll start with, were there any weapons? Do you have any description of the person? How long ago did this happen? Do you know a direction of travel? We'll start, and we'll go down to kind of the least important questions, but they're still important. And a lot of times, questions that we ask don't seem important or relevant at all. But you got to understand, you don't have that training. You don't know the other side of the situation. So what may seem like totally insignificant questions to you, people get really, really, really upset, anxious, mad, frustrated, disgusted by these questions. A lot of times they hang up. Or they get real loud and boisterous, and sometimes argue and cuss people out and curse the 911 operator out, and that's not helping anybody, at least of all you who call 911 because you need help. So try to remain calm, try to remain civil, try to answer all the questions, even if you're rolling your eyes, because I'm telling you, sometimes I roll my eyes because we answer 911. We say, 911, do you need police, fire, medical? If you need police, I take the information. If you need medical or fire, I transfer to our fire department. I don't have to handle medical or fire calls. I transfer to the fire department. I transfer the call. I put the call on mute so I can listen. And a lot of times I'm rolling my eyes at the questions that the fire department is asking the caller or the victim, because I know it can be frustrating to people, but even though I'm rolling my eyes, I understand that's their training. Those questions are for a specific reason, and it helps with the response to your situation. How much personnel do they need to send? What kind of personnel do they need to send? And all of that, what kind of instructions, pre-arrival instructions they need to give you, all of that stuff. So I think that's about it. It's just, all of those things. I can't remember, exactly what I said. Listen, first of all, use 911. Listen intently to what it is that they're asking. Answer concisely. Try not to get frustrated with the questions that they ask. Try to answer those questions as best you can, or succinctly as you can. And what you don't know, just say, I don't know. And lastly, I would say, hold on, you guys. I am about to order. I hate to order my food on camera, but I'm about to order my food here at Zaxby's, so I can get to work. So let me maybe conclude this before I order my food. I don't need y'all all in my business, trying to see what I'm eating. Let me see. Lastly, I would just say, As far as using 911, just appreciate what's going on the other end of that phone. Appreciate those so much is going on in the world, and so much divisiveness, and so much I'm not even gonna get into all this stuff that's going on. Horrific stuff. A lot of things that I don't agree with in law enforcement, but just know that there are a lot of really, really, really good people who work for law enforcement and medical, fire department and all that, who are good people, good apples, and they're there for you, and don't hesitate to use them. All right, you guys, so I'm gonna go and make my order. It's been a pleasure talking to y'all. I hope this helps somebody, and I think I'm gonna do another video a little later about some safety tips for the summer, just from my 30 years of experience in law enforcement. All right, you guys, love y'all. Y'all be blessed.